My name is Mattison and I'm the co-founder of Timewise. Our vision is one where everybody who wants to work but needs to have flexibility in the way that they work can find that flexibility without losing their value in the workplace. We know from the research that we've done with the Joseph Rowntree Foundation that in the UK there are nearly 2 million people who are trapped in either low-paid part-time work or not working but have the skills and the experience to work in quality roles. And the reason they're trapped is because they simply don't have anything to apply for. And that is the social mobility point of the work that we do, because when they are able to progress into quality part-time or flexible work, they end up increasing the chances of themselves and their families. Enabling people who need to work flexibly, whether they are parents of young children, whether they are carers of older people, whether they have a disability, a mental health problem or any additional need. Enabling them to fit work around their other responsibilities means that they can carry on progressing their careers without losing that value. And it means that effectively they continue their social mobility and they're included in the workforce and not excluded because they can't work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 in a traditional way. So at Timewise, we are completely focused on changing the jobs market for everybody who needs to work flexibly. And we do 3 specific things. Firstly, we campaign for a better, fairer jobs market by working with policymakers, media, and changing the conversation about part-time and flexible work. Secondly, we want candidates who need that flexibility to have a better experience in the job market. So we offer them advice and support, and we run a job site exclusively for part-time and flexible jobs to give them much more opportunity of what they can apply for. And finally, and hugely importantly, we are having conversations with businesses every single day to help them understand the commercial benefit of opening roles to flexible working. And that is the main way that the jobs market will start to free up. As well as the numerical ways that we measure our impact, I have a personal way that I really like to keep an eye on, and that is what happens on our job site, Timewise Jobs, and what happens to the candidates and the fill rates of the jobs, because for me that's incredibly meaningful. So since we set up that site in 2012, without advertising for candidates, we now have over 90,000 people who are registered with us looking for flexible and part-time work. And what's really interesting is how well we deliver quality candidates to the businesses who hire. And in some sectors, 8 out of 10 roles are filled by our candidates through our site. And for me, on a personal level, the most satisfying part of the job is when I meet somebody and they say, I was trapped in a part-time job that I didn't think I could get out of. Through Timewise, I had coaching, I had support, I found a job, and now I'm progressing my career and still managing to work flexibly or part-time. That for me on a personal level is a fantastic way of measuring impact. We always knew that our impact would be greatest if we worked in partnership with people and organisations who shared our vision and social mission. So we've always had incredibly strong partnerships. At the moment, for example, we are doing a huge amount of work in the retail sector, helping particularly women to progress into more senior roles, but take that flexibility that they need with them. And we're working with 5 of Britain's largest retailers. And we're doing a partnership with the British Retail Consortium because we know that's their sector and they want to improve it as well. So that kind of partnership hugely extends the reach and the social impact of what we're able to do. And so when I look around now, I think what a difference it is for the candidate who's looking for a part-time and flexible job compared to that when that was me 15 years ago. And I see there are competitors who are working in elements of what we're doing, and I celebrate that competition, because if we were still the only organisation trying to work in that market, then I don't think we would be affecting the wider change that we set out to do. We've been incredibly fortunate over the years to have had support for the work that we're doing from all sorts of different directions, whether it's from individuals and departments in government who've really understood the change that we're trying to make, to social organisations and think tanks like the Joseph Rowntree Foundation or the Resolution Foundation or the Big Lottery Fund, who have backed us in the campaigning work that we've wanted to do. But also, really importantly, to what I think of quite visionary businesses who've seen the benefits of this kind of work and have had the foresight to think that's a change they can make in their business. So businesses like EY, Ernst & Young, Lloyds Banking Group and Dixon's Carphone. 3 years ago, we decided that we would produce a flexible jobs index every year, because no one until that point was measuring the number of quality, part-time and flexible vacancies that were being advertised in the open jobs market. So we started tracking that 3 years ago, and we will continue to do that over the next 10 years. And we can see that we are moving in the right direction with a greater volume and percentage of roles advertised, but there is still a huge amount for us all to do. I think for any social entrepreneur, you're trying to often do something for a market that isn't quite ready for it yet, that doesn't know they want it. And we were no different. So in a sense, we were trying to sell in a concept of quality, part-time, flexible work to a world for whom that had a very negative brand. And if you think about the way people talk about part-time, it's always with an apology or some way of denigrating it. Just part-time, only part-time, low-paid part-time. So part of the challenge for us was almost undertaking a rebrand of the concept itself and telling stories of people we knew who weren't talking about it openly, had made a success of their work and managed to progress working part-time or flexibly. But they were very, very hidden from people lower down in the job market. And so that's really been a challenge that we've faced from the beginning. And that's a challenge we face when we talk to businesses who have that same perception, and also to candidates who, like we were, just feel like there is no place for them anymore in the job market. The exciting but also quite challenging thing about setting up a social business in something that hasn't been done before is that it's really hard to look for the role models, like who's done it, who's 10 years ahead of us. There hasn't been that. So in a sense, Emma and I have really learnt on the job as we've gone along about the kind of organisation that we've wanted to create. And I think what's been really beneficial for us is that the social purpose and vision has stayed the same throughout. And I think while we might have changed in our leadership style and the ways that we've run the business, what's been a constant is the people we've been able to attract with us on that journey, because we've been able to attract individuals who are incredibly values-led. They've got the skills and experience to do the job that we need them to do, but the social purpose has really been pushing all of our team forward. So we've all learnt together on the job about changing the market. What we've learnt along the way is that just campaigning, just talking about something isn't going to change a system overnight, and that proper system change really does take time. So while we do the campaigning, we're really interested in how jobs are organised, how work happens, and we're working on really interesting pilots all the time to push our learning further. And I think what we've had to learn on a personal level is patience, but equally when I look back now and I think what the world of work looked like when my 19-year-old son was younger, and I think for people coming into the workplace now, we are starting to see that change, but it is slow and you do have to learn that patience. We've continually challenged ourselves on our strategy. Our enduring purpose and vision has remained the same, but we've adapted quite a lot along the way to make sure that we're delivering the greatest impact. And a key turning point for us came in 2012 when Emma, my co-founder, and I looked at the business, which was then operating under a very women-focused brand. So we were talking about the experience of women and children in the job market. What we discovered was that actually, paradoxically, talking about women and helping them into work wasn't necessarily the best thing for them. The best thing for them was that businesses understood the business benefits of a flexible and part-time workforce. And so we shifted our brand. We haven't had any less women registering with us, but what we've seen is a huge growth in the number of businesses that are utilising our services. The journey that has become Timewise started for both Emma and myself around 15 years ago. When we were working, we were in senior roles and we had young children. And we looked and we wanted to find quality, flexible work that we could fit around our families. And that was the first time that we faced a proper brick wall professionally. And everywhere we went, we were told that what we wanted wasn't possible, that we had to choose. We had to trade our skills in order for the flexibility that we wanted, or stop work altogether. And we assumed that we no longer fitted into the job market, into the world of work anymore. And the journey that we've been on over the last 15 years has really been to try and demonstrate that there is no reason why anyone who wants or needs to work flexibly cannot have work which they can fit with their skills and experience too. One of the joys of my professional life for the last 15 years has been sharing the leadership of Timewise with my co-founder Emma. Because what we've done is we've been able to have different elements of the leadership and the growth of the business, but we've also been able to show people coming up through our organisation and externally that there isn't just one way to lead and grow a business, that actually you can share and design work in a different way. So I feel that what we've been able to do is to demonstrate part of what we're telling the rest of the world is possible.